Welcome to Wednesday Posse Power with the Preeminent Posse. Oh my goodness. This is a regular, organic, spontaneous conversation with some of the experts in my House of Preeminence Posse. And today we are going to be talking about something that nearly everybody has a problem with, is being too busy. Doing too much, being overwhelmed, getting out of balance with everything you've got to do. So it is my absolute joy to introduce some of my gorgeous posse. Today we have Conscious Wealth Code coach Karen Baines from Essex in the UK. We have a gorgeous, amazing humanitarian awakening giants around the world, an incredible high vibe living specialist, Sprite Laureano from Ecuador. And we have the Empress of Style herself, the absolutely diva fabulous. What else could I say? Liana Shaoli in...
right now in Los Angeles.
You're in Los Angeles. Okay.
Los Angeles. I just got back from Mexico.
Los Angeles. And yeah. I am Jenny P, your hostess with the mostess, tuning in from France. Just know that what we are going to talk about today is unscripted. It is pure organic wisdom from the Garden of Wisdom. And because these experts are so high level, I know is going to be absolutely amazing. So we're going to jump right in with this whole subject of how to be more of a human being and less of a human doing in this world when we are raised with stuff to see, stuff to scroll on, stuff to learn, stuff to do, stuff and more stuff and more stuff and more stuff, and it just completely taken over our lives. Even those of us who are mindful, who aspire to a balanced life, we are still sucked into it. But what I want to come to is the essence of why beingness is so key to your fulfillment, your manifestations. In my own words, the art of what you want to achieve is through the art of becoming. It's through the art of being a vibrational match for. What that really means in a really grounded way is stepping into the life that you love and stepping into the greatest you, the highest you, your highest life, not in the future. This isn't somewhere we're going to and we'll get to in a month or 6 months or a year or 5 years. This is showing up. And I have my favorite expression, which I made up myself and I'm really quite proud of, is show up for your highest life and your highest self will meet you there. And that I can't say any more than that. So I am going to throw this open to my panel. They would, because this is going to be, again, spontaneous. Who would like to jump in first, ladies?
I'll go first. I'll go first because I just had a major experience of this, like in the body, the experience of being in life exactly the way it is and exactly the way it's not. Meaning for me, a lot of beingness has to do with exactly this moment, because the future gets created in this moment, and we so often, I learned this the hard way in my own body. And I think every day I am in the opportunity of learning it again and again, because things present themselves. And I've watched a lot of my clients and myself go, no, not this, what's behind this? No, not this, what's here right now, but over there, behind the other person, behind the opportunity. And I realized, if we can if I can just, I'll just speak for myself, if I can just land and ground in this moment with exactly what's here, just take a breath. I think that the opportunity is between what's here, take a breath, and then what's possible. And it's that little tiny space, which can become a chasm of taking a breath, that we often don't do because we're so rushed, we're so hurried, we're so in our heads. And I always say, your head is a very bad neighborhood to go into by yourself. Take me with you, take someone with you, because because there's no cheese in there. There's no dessert, there's no cheese, there's no ice cream. And when we choose to be here, you guys are laughing, but it's like really true. I spent almost a year being in my head by myself, not a good neighborhood to be there. I was very lonely and there was no one there with me. And I think that part of it is just being able to be surrounded by wonderful people. So part of being, the constitution of being, is, have we chosen a wonderful community to be with, which is what you're doing, Jenny, which is what I love so much, is that when we get together with like-minded people, we constantly get reminded, listen, you're not alone. Let's take a breath together. Let's go over this. Let's talk about this, because sometimes we're unable to take that breath. So I'm just grateful.
I love that, bringing mindfulness back to breath, because even those of us who are mindful forget about the moment-to-moment presence. I think it's something that we all need to be reminded of. You wouldn't want to come into my neighborhood in my head. I just like, you'd be really scared.
Well, see, that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Those of us who are leaders, those of us who, whether it's a mom leading a family or whether it's a woman leading a country, it doesn't matter. We often think, oh my God, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. I can't say this. I just created a whole training around this, leading from the wound rather than the scar. When we're in the wound, it's really hard for us to reach out and say, listen, I'm hurting. I'm bleeding. But if we don't heal the wounds from the people who hurt us, whether it's myself or somebody else, then we're going to bleed on the people who love us in the future. So we can't do it on our own. I don't think we can do it. I don't think we were meant to do it on our own. Being is not, it's easy to be when you're on a mountaintop and you're sitting on a pillow and and there's no clouds in the sky and it's sunny and unicorns are coming out of your booty. No, that's not the way life goes. Life is here in this moment. Stuff is coming at us. And that's the piece where I think the breath, the reminder, and the community are all pieces of this being. We're not alone in the being. That's it.
Well, I'll hop in here because I just got done with a big launch, and my past person would have jumped right in afterwards and felt like, okay, now I have so much to do. I've got to get back with everybody. I've got to get these emails out. I've got to blah, blah, blah. And I'm really happy to say that that was not at all top on my mind at all. And instead, I completely took the day off, and I took another day, most of the day off, even yesterday. And where I really have learned to come from these days is that when I'm recognizing what I'm doing is for God. So it's not, when I used to get caught up in the do, it was all about me. It was all about what I felt I needed to do to be recognized, seen. Oh my gosh, how is someone going to view me or what I'm doing? I was caught up in being out there versus being with God, because God wants me to be present, and I can't be present if I'm putting all of my focus and attention outside of myself. And so yeah, it feels really good to be in that place. But I think what Liana was also saying about, not being up on the mountaintop, right? It's like we get our character is built in the valley, not the mountaintop. And life is a series of peaks and valleys. You know, that's just what life is. Like sometimes it's the season to be doing, and sometimes it's the season to be being. But I think that even greater than that is like recognizing every moment that we can be being, like be being in the doing, right? So, and I was very unconscious for many years around that. And even, you know, recently, I have to say COVID was really good for me last year. The COVID, I know a lot of us have that story where it really slowed us down. And it's amazing because I'm seeing like people are so much busy, like even busier than they were like pre-COVID. But I think it's so important. This topic that you brought up is great, Jenny, because we really do need to continue to remember. It's like as leaders, as conscious leaders, we are here to create a new path forward. And that way of treadmill, where that created burnout for all of us. I know we've all been through burnout in the past in some way because of that masculine model that we have learned and grown up with. And it's really important that we're modeling a new way. So those are kind of the things that are on my mind right now.
And it's
about being.
It is hard to trust that stopping and giving it over is the right thing to do, that there isn't necessarily a result attached to it, as I've learned from my babylicious herself, Karen. Because on Sunday I did exactly the same thing. After the magazine came out, absolutely filled my weekend chock-a-block with things I wanted to do, but nevertheless got to Sunday and was starting to panic because I had not sat down. So I did what Babylicious says, is take a day off, and then straight after that she says take another day off, and did it. And yes, and over to you, Miss Baines.
Yeah. Well, I really want to say how lovely it is to be here. And I do want to pick up on a couple of things that Liana said that I think are really key to this. I mean, if anyone out there doesn't actually know who I am, because I don't show up that often, I'm the resident money chick. And I teach how you're going to create money through your businesses by aligning yourself with that reality. And one of the most powerful things that Liana's already mentioned is the energy of gratitude. She said right at the end how grateful she was. And the thing about gratitude is so many people have a gratitude process that they take themselves through. And the wonderful thing about gratitude, as long as it is absolutely authentic, so as long as you're not shooting yourself into gratitude, like, oh, I'm so grateful I've got my eyesight. Well, yeah, everyone who's got their eyesight is grateful for that. But it's about being really genuinely grateful for that which you have. It brings you right back to the power of now. And again, as Liana touched on, we're actually creating our future right now. The day that we've just had is actually a consequence of choices we've made in the past. We're living our past. And so everything that we're doing right now from this moment creates our future. So if we can be grateful for what we have now and be in the beingness of it versus the doingness, which isn't all, in fact, it's really challenging for entrepreneurs. And I know that from experience, from my colleagues, from my clients, it's one of the toughest things that we have to do. And actually, I coach the energy underneath doing. So I have to be hyper aware of it. But the gratitude process is powerful because it's being in the moment and being grateful for now, and that creates the future. And something that really has been kind of, in the forefront of my consciousness probably for about the last 3 weeks. I had a conversation recently with someone, and I can't remember if it was a client or if it was on an interview or something. I can't remember. But I actually heard myself saying for the very first time out loud in public that every single choice you make, every single day, is directly communicating energetically to the universe whether or not you are available to receive money. And it doesn't matter what circumstance you're in. I literally, and I'm really saying this in public now, I challenge anybody to say to me, I'm going to make this choice, or I've been thinking about this choice. Tell me how it relates to money. Because everything you do is a direct broadcast, whether or not you're open to receive money or whether it's going to leak out somewhere else. But what I've also understood very recently, probably in a longer time frame, about the last 6 months, is if you can make being as much of your normal as possible, and by that I mean enjoying the absolute crap out of your experience as much as you can, every minute of every day, just aligning yourself to that which you love and that which brings you joy and that which you're grateful for, and make that a habit. You ground that in as a normal in your life. And what's fabulous about that is, even though we're, with every choice we're making from now, this moment, we're creating our future, once we ground in a normal, a vibration that the universe recognizes as our normal, it'll give you a free pass for about 3 months. It's incredible. It's like it reacts from your normal vibration, your normal frequency. And even if you kind of go off track a little bit and things get a bit grim and a bit sad and a bit clunky, the universe sees that as kind of abnormal behavior. So it still reacts off of your normal vibration, which is being and loving and joy and abundance and all of that, and it still brings you the good stuff. You get a couple of months, 3 months past with it, and it's fabulous when you know that. And that's why I think it really is important. One of the reasons it's really important as business owners, certainly when we're business owners and we're designed to add value to the lives of other people through our gifts, we're naturally looking to vibrate at that high frequency. And if we can really do that as our normal, a minimum of 50% of the time, then that normal grounds in. And then on the days when we don't feel our best selves, and we all have them, and when we all operate outside of our bandwidth, the universe kind of was like, well, yeah, but she'll be back, she'll be fine. Here you go, have that. And it's really cool. So that's what I've got to bring to the table. And I think the gratitude thing gets you started. If you're listening to us today, or you're hearing us and you're like, well, yeah, it's okay for you guys, or whatever stories or kind of inner voice stuff you've got going on, and if your life doesn't feel great at the moment, the thing about really grounded, authentic gratitude is everyone's got something that they're genuinely grateful for. Everybody has. And if you can start focusing on that, it brings you right back to the power of now. It brings you right back to peace. And that's a great place to catapult, especially when we're in retrograde, as we are at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
I love everything you just said, Karen.
Thank you.
You know, what's so interesting about this, it's that many years ago, I came to the embodiment, which is so interesting because the embodiment of gratitude is different than the thinking about gratitude. You know, there's something that happens inside of me, and I think that as thought leaders and as mentors, we're all trying to give this to the world in some form or another. Karen, you do it with money. You know, Jenny and I do it with style and cooking and whatever, all the ways we do it. Sprite does it at a level of giving, at a level of inclusion, at a level of the world. It's this embodiment of the statement that I always say, I want what I have and I have what I want. When I'm in the place of I want what I have and I have what I want, it's like it doesn't matter whether it's a shit storm or a should storm, or it's abundance, or it's money, or it's a great lover, or the lack thereof. There's something that kind of it like encompasses all of it. It just goes, yeah, it's all here for a reason. Living inside the tension of the paradox of life. There's really all the amazing stuff, and then there's all the stuff that is less amazing, and I'm the fulcrum. And the fulcrum is to be, not to do, but to be in gratitude in the expansiveness of all of it. And when I get to that place, and often I'm not in that place, and then I can feel it. It's like this grounding. Like yesterday, I had one of those very, very beautiful, soothing moments. It's like you're on a boat in sunshine going down a river, and it's really beautiful, and everything just flows. You know, we just had that article, the magazine about flow, Jenny. There was so much in that magazine that gave me remembering of what's possible in this second. And I love that. I love being part of a community where we're all bringing our golden threads and turning it into a tapestry of an amazing magic carpet. And I know that sounds very airy-fairy, yet it's not. It's very simple. I didn't say that it was easy, you know? I love being part of this. Thank you.
I love the gratitude. It's, ladies, it's beautiful that you brought that up, because yeah, it's the highest vibration. It's even higher vibration than love. And it's just starting every moment in gratitude is, I was just literally before we got on this, I had an appointment to make, and I was making the appointment and looking at my calendar and going, I am so grateful that I get to make this appointment, and I love what I do, and that I get to look at my calendar and go, oh my gosh, look who I get to meet with. Like, that was my thought as I was making my appointment. And so often in the past, I would look at my calendar and go, I don't want to make another appointment. Right? And and it really does come from that very conscious, daily, moment to moment space of gratitude for all of it, like just all of it, whatever is showing up in my life right now. And because it's all like, we know that it's like, we know that when things aren't going our way, that's temporary. We know that now, right? It's like, so getting to a place where we can really trust it's temporary and that it's for a reason. And there's always something else on the other side. And like, Karen, I love what you said. I love you. I miss you. I've been like,
I love you too.
We were like talking all the time for a while, and then we haven't for a while. And I love listening to you. But it's, it's like you were saying, that there is this, it's like cause and effect when you follow the laws of the universe, like recognizing there are laws that have been foretold, and talked about for thousands and thousands of years. And as we follow those laws, they work. So it cause and effect. When we live from that place of gratitude, we are putting into the future that which is going to create 3 months of amazingness. Karen just told us it was 3 months.
3 months. 3 months.
Which is awesome. I love it.
I mean, and if you can actually get to a space though where you're kind of riding that, I call it like riding that wave of momentum, and you've got all your ducks in a row. Even as I say, you can have a few days off, and you can just feel like a little bit lower vibration, and the universe just like, oh yeah, she'll be back, and it still brings in that new lead or that new client, or that great opportunity to go and hang with your friends at lunchtime, whatever it is. But it's pretty rare for people like us, and certainly those with preeminence qualities that hang out with us. It's pretty rare that we're gonna lose our motivation and our momentum for more than a month, let alone 3, right? So we're gonna still kind of maybe take a few days off, maybe take a week off, but then we're going to be back, and we're going to be coming at it from a space of obviously gratitude, but fulfillment and joy and love and expansion and service and giving and all of that stuff. And then we just crack-a-lack on with it, and the universe responds to that, and off we go to the next level and the next level and the next level. So yeah, I mean, 3 months, that's a good long time of grace from the big U, as far as I can see it. We're never going to need that. We're never going to need that much. We're going to be back before then.
Yeah.
And that's not just us. It's everybody that hangs out with us, everybody who gets joy and pleasure and expansion from experiencing the preeminence, the magazine and everything. I mean, I know my article this month is about weirdness and being the odd one out, but like attracts like. And we have got a bunch of great weirdos that just want to hang out with us, and that's for a reason, and we're all, everyone that is here to listen to anything and is interested in anything any of us got to say is made up of the same amazing qualities. We're all infinite beings in a body at the end of the day, and everything's available to everybody.
Yeah. I have a question for all of us, because there's a lot of people possibly watching this who are in a very different state right now, because the world has kind of sucker punched, and the situation in the world has kind of sucker punched everybody, not just one country or one community, or like everyone has been affected and affected by this. So what do you ladies think? And Jenny, I think you and I have had this conversation a lot offline. Who are we being, and what can we give to the world in these few minutes that we're together, to the people who are not in that place, because I was in great darkness, and many of us who are leading communities and thought leaders and wonder makers, I call us wonder makers. What are we doing? What can we do in these few minutes that we're together? And what's the invitation that we have for people? Very simple, not easy, but simple, where we can say, this is one thing you can do every day, twice a day, that will get you on a path of light. When you think
straight in, I know immediately.
Yeah, what is it? Like, I think that this is what we're here for, right?
Yeah. And I think it literally, for me, when you're in that really dark place, it is about almost getting back to basics, getting back to zero. Because if you're in a really dark place, the place of light is so far away, the place of vibrancy is so far away that you can't even energetically connect with it. You can't even go there. And it is, I would say, it is about gratitude. And gratitude is a practice. And I honestly think that if you can bookend your day, that's great. But for some people, that's not even possible. If you wake up and the first thing you hear is your kids screaming, or your kids arguing, or it's raining outside and you miss the sun so bad that it hurts, whatever reason you've got to wake up in that low vibration. It's going to be difficult even to find gratitude in those waking moments. But at the end of your day, when your head touches that pillow, if you can literally just give yourself 1 or 2 minutes to reflect on your day and find one thing that you're genuinely, authentically grateful for, even if it's just the fact that you managed to get to bed and the house is quiet, even if it's that, make sure that it's genuine and authentic and you truly are grateful for that. And then tune into that as you sleep and put an order into the big you. Anything that feels like that, man, I'm open for it tomorrow. Just bring me more of that. How can I connect that? How can I be even more grateful for something more than that tomorrow? And because when you ask the questions, you ask the powerful questions like, what would it take to feel gratitude tomorrow bigger than I feel today? And you do that from a place of genuine desire. That's coming from your soul, and it creates a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum, and it will bring you the answers. And while you're sleeping, the universe will get busy bringing you the answers to that question, and next day will be a better day. Genuine.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'd love to jump in. For me, it's really like take time, you guys, and get in nature. Like, recognize that when you're in a dark place, it's okay, first of all, to remember and to know that you're not here to do it alone, and that you can't do it alone, and that you actually have an entire universe, and you have a earth that is full of really powerful energy that's here to support you. That's what the earth is here to do, is to support you. And so getting connected, reconnected to nature, and recognizing that energy from nature is able to shift you and to shift your frequency. And maybe it's, people live in a city, or it's freezing cold out, or whatever. Like, we always have the different excuses, right? But I always tell people, if you even have a plant, if you have a plant in your house, connect with that plant, grab a leaf off the plant, grab a petal off of the plant, rub that energy in your hands and connect with that energy. Close your eyes and connect with the energy of nature, because it is here to support you and to soothe you and to nurture you and to provide for you. That frequency is, when you're in a low vibrational frequency, the frequency of nature, just in any way that you can connect with it. I use my oils to connect with it. I go outside, put my feet in the grass. Even if you can't do that, connecting to nature through your imagination works too, because everything is connected. And so every morning, when getting back to gratitude again, like, part of my morning ritual is seeing myself in nature, even if I'm not in nature, and it's being deeply grateful for the soil and the crystals in the soil and the nutrients in the soil and the trees and the roots of the trees and the textures and the colors and the smells and the tastes and all of those things. And nature really can help you also to move into that space of gratitude. So, nature. Water is another part of nature that can really, again, shift your frequency and energy. Take a shower, take a bath. We all know we have great ideas in the shower. Why do we have great ideas in the shower? It's because of the energy of water. It's real. That energy, that water contains a vibrational frequency that is able to just literally open every cell of our being, every molecule of our being. So those are some of the things that I do.
Beautiful. Diana?
You, Jenny, you go first. I'll go.
Yeah, you go first.
So I know this may sound a little odd, Yet I believe in the words of, I think it was Hafiz or Rumi said, don't ask how you can live inside the world. Ask, get so big that the world lives inside you. And when I'm in a place of difficulty, I pull back in, because when you look at children know that they have everything inside themselves. Like, they never question their worth, until they're about 2 or 3 years old, when they get to see that, oh, the world is separate from them and they are separate from the world, and they're basically invincible. And having grandchildren and being around a lot of children, I always go back to that. I always go back to, they wake up with a smile. They treat their days with amazingness and gratitude, and they go on the playground and they ask 15 children if they want to play with them, and they'll get 15 no's, and they'll go, you want to play? They get a no. You want to play? They get a no. And they keep going. And then at some point, nobody wants to play, and they sit down in a corner and they're completely happy with 3 rocks. And so that keeps teaching me the lesson of, everything I need is right in here. The whole world lives inside me. And it's just my mind and my ossified negative belief systems that don't allow me to go into the portal that's right inside my heart. Because as the Sufis say, the heart is the seat of the soul. So when I get to a really, really bad place, I go into my wonder vault inside of me, and I go, what's in there that I can bring out? What's the wonder that I've been keeping from the world? That the armor of negativity or the armor of fear has kept inside. And how can I just release one of them? Like, what's my superpower? What's my magic? What's my, so that it's kind of regenerating itself. And there is one thing every day, in the morning and in the evening, that you can find, that you are the only person that is here to do that, because nobody will do it like you, because we're all diamonds on God's seashore, and every one of us sparkles differently, and that sparkle is needed. So go find your sparkle and give it to the world.
Well, I'd love to conclude that absolutely gorgeous kaleidoscope of precious and practical and beautiful wisdom by saying, do you remember when we got in aeroplanes, those days when we used to fly? One of the first things we were taught was, within 10, 15 minutes of getting on the plane, was put your own oxygen mask on first. Not even your babies. Just like otherwise the baby isn't going to have one. And what that means is that if you don't prioritize yourself in your day, in your week, in your month, and in your life, everything is always going to be chasing. And to even be able to touch the grace that my gorgeous posse are talking about in gratitude and breath and stillness and magic and sparkle, you have to make that decision and reflex and ritual to put your own oxygen mask on first every day and go, okay, what do I need? What do I need now before I do anything? What do I need to be before I do anything? And before anybody else needs me, before the noises and the clamor and everything, what do I need? So that you can put it on a Post-it note and put it stick it up all over the place until it becomes a habit. For us, it is normal and natural. But for those who as we've been many years ago, and not so many years ago, actually last week, just like we forget, and because we're heart-led people and we're altruistic and we're change makers, we just like, oh my God, yeah, just I need to do this for this person and that for that person, and this person needs me and that person, and it's like, no, put your own oxygen mask on first. That is. It's safety. It's life-saving. It's critical for us. So to conclude that, if you out there, right here with us, have enjoyed what you've heard, you can hang out with these gorgeous, amazing, wonderful change makers in several ways. First of all, get yourself to Facebook if you must. And we have just reopened a Facebook group, which is now called Preeminence Rising. You can also look at the House of Preeminence Facebook page, and you will find us there. And the main thing you want to do is to get to the magazine, and the easiest way to sign up for it, that rather than me spell out the URL, is to go to House of Preeminence Facebook page. On the banner at the top, it says sign up. You will have every single month a free edition of not just these 4 incredible people, but 9 and more in the new year, 9 incredible leaders with even more complementary topics, all to help you create your best life. Do yourself a favor and do that. That's the one thing I'm going to ask you to do today, is to get yourself on the House of Preeminence subscription list so that you can be a registered subscriber for the magazine. Then come and join us in the Facebook group, because everything we've been talking about, my beautiful experts are there for you with resources and freebies and links and videos and free courses and so much for you to be able to step into your highest life. So be your highest self before everything today, and use the resources that are available. They are a gift. You watching this today is a sign that you are ready to receive all of that wisdom that we have to offer you. And that's it. So
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny.
Yay!
Yeah, and if you're listening to the replay, wherever you see this, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, wherever you find this, please leave a comment. Please let us know if something that one of my gorgeous posse have said has touched you, that you know, oh my goodness, yes, I need to work on that. I want to know more about that. It's Facebook land, it's social media land. You know, we are in touch with each other all the time. So just leave us a comment, leave us a reply, and a little engagement, so that we can give you more of all of this, because we have so much to give. So thank you, Karen and Sprite and Liana, for this another incredible Preeminence Posse powwow on Wednesday. We do this every week live. As I said, it is like it is a love fest. It is a big love fest, and you can be a part of it. You can absolutely be a part of it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for you doing yourself the biggest favor you possibly can by tuning into this, listening to it, and joining us. So on that note, until next Wednesday, good au revoir.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
God bless.